Hello, welcome to another game dev stream for Demergo Studios for the Gopher game I'm working on. And it's been a little while since I've had a stream. Actually, it looks like about 2 months, which is insane. But a lot has happened in those 2 months. It's been very busy. Um, a lot has happened. Between I lost my job, and then the next week I got a new job, and I've been very busy um, catching up to speed on this new job, as well as prior to those job losses, I spent a lot of time working on the art pipeline. In particular, I picked up Substance Painter. That's on the big deal right now. That was a great buy. Got that. I knew I'd need that. As well as I spent a lot of time going through different modeling packages, a lot of different 3D modeling software for the indie scene. Um, I reviewed a bunch of them, from Modo to obviously Maya and 3D Studio Max, as well as Blender, uh, and a couple other little ones like Cheetah 3D, I believe, and there's a couple other smaller ones out there. But I looked at all of them. I spent a lot of time in Modo. I thought that could be the answer, Modo 10. But I just read a lot of reviews on Moto 10. Indie is sold through Steam, and there's been a lot of disappointing talk around Moto 10 on Steam. And so instead of putting my money there, I decided to instead turn around and go back to Blender. I had done some Blender work early on, back when we were working on function repair, Fixbot. Early on in college, I did some 3D modeling and stuff like that, just trying to learn Blender a bit. And so when I came back to it, it was still rather familiar. I felt kind of familiar with it. Very rusty, of course, but kind of figuring it out a little bit. Yeah, so I've settled on Blender. I'm very happy with Blender. It's not perfect, but feature-wise, it's um, feature-wise and cost-wise, it's probably your best decision, unless you can afford Maya. If you can afford Maya, great. That's $125 a month I do not have. But other people do, and other people, it's their profession, so they can afford it. And that's great. If you can, that's awesome. Um, Substance Painter itself was a stretch, but I knew I was hopeless without something powerful like that to assist me in my where I lack art skills dramatically. But we're going to keep working on this. I'm going to keep building this out as I go, and move on from there. So today, as the stream title, we're going to be looking in to some environment stuff, working on some environment stuff. I already did some building of some building out of some 3D modeling stuff, of a piece of the world. So let's explain a little bit. This will be easier just to explain than to talk. So if we look, oh, I know where it's at. Let's open up. I will say game development, there's a lot of expensive tools involved. From Affinity Designer that I purchased, which was much cheaper than any sort of Adobe attempt that I made. Affinity Designer's been great, but it's still, $50 right there. For a hobby, it costs money, but it's there. So, but we were using this to design out some stuff. Let's see if I've got. Let's open. One of the weird things I did find out when I was using Substance Painter is that my tablet, I have a Huion tablet. I do not have a fancy Wacom. Again, it's just a lot of money to spend. So I have a Huion. I was really excited. It works really well in pretty much every application but Substance Painter for Mac. Works great on Substance Painter for Windows. Does not so well for Mac. So I put in a bug request with them, and they're actually working on fixing it. So it made me really happy. They're going to update their drivers to fix the bug with Substance Painter for Mac. So that makes me happy. So I'm excited about that. Let's see, is this the one I wanted? I believe it is. Yeah. All right. So I built this layout on a previous stream. Um, wow. It definitely has been 2 months. Um, hmm. Let's zoom in a little bit. I know there's probably a really cool shortcut key that Z. But anyways, so I'm trying to remember how to use this software because I did use it a lot, and I do use it a lot. I guess it's the hand tool, what it is. Maybe I'm just so used to Blender and it's all shortcut keys, and I kind of forgot the shortcut keys for this. But so we've got them all in these nice little like sections up here on the screen, these little square boxes. And my idea is that each square here, I know they're not perfectly aligned squares, but each square is going to represent one phone screen, iPhone screen size. That's what it's going to represent. And so that's the idea. And then the transition between areas is going to be a hard transition. So like the screen will just slide over, then you'll pop into on the next side. A little bit like the Zelda for NES. How you go up to an exit, and then it will slide the screen over, and you go to the next area. That's kind of what I was thinking. And that way I could also kind of limit a lot of the puzzles to one screen size. I'm not sure how that will work, but we'll give it a try. Obviously, there'll be puzzles that span larger areas, but a lot of the puzzles remain smaller. And I don't know, I just kind of like that feel. I think it's going to be a good feel, good direction, but we'll find out when we start experimenting. So I did that, and then we laid out some detailed designs. Not a lot. We didn't do the whole thing detailed. I do plan to do that eventually. But I want to start experimenting in actual Unity. So we laid out just kind of the first square here. We've got them numbered. We've got them numbered 1, 2 up here, 3, and 57 because I forgot that square. We got them numbered, and they correspond to the numbering over here: 1, 2, 3, 57. And they correspond to that. And so these are kind of more detailed layouts. And so this layout here, I've got the little gopher house and some trees around here. Kind of a very simplistic layout. But it just kind of maintains the base objects. And so we've got a little wheelbarrow here that you pick up and some signs. So anyways, so we've got this. All right. So that's kind of the layout. So right now I'm working on just this tile here, building out this environment tile. And so I did that, and we're going to close this because there's no way in the world I'll be able to keep this open with Blender at the same time. And we'll pull open Blender. If I can find it. Alrighty, Blender. Yeah, Blender. And hopefully I got my blend file on here. So, okay, so first thing I did was, let's back up, was build a base blend file. This is just a base tile file. There's nothing too fancy. Let's see if I remember the controls. Yeah, look at that. Just a base square. The reason it's a base square is because I wanted to get it lined up properly. So if we go over to my Unity screen here, you can actually see the tile in here. And so I wanted to get it lined up in this viewport properly, like sized properly, width, whatever. So that way it can actually just in the editor have a scale of 1 all the way across and then just be the correct size in the viewport. Now that may or may not work because right now it's sized for iPhone 6 Portrait, which is hopefully going to be the mode you use 90% of the time in this game. I decided to go with the portrait direction instead of horizontal, but I can change later. But yeah, so we start off with this little this size. So I have a base tile, so this blend file can literally just be duplicated and then just edit it or open it and then resave as later on and then start each tile off of this base blend file. So then we get into kind of opening the actual first tile I built. I got 1 and I got 1_1. I decided for naming conventions I'm going to do 1_1, where the first one is the world number. So this is the first world because I want to have multiple worlds. And then this is tile 1. And then, you know, those other sections we had 2 and 3 and then 57. Yeah, this will be 1_2, 1_3, 1_57. That sort of thing. And so we got another blend file here we're opening up, and this is the actual tile file here, or the actual tile that I built. I have a divot here in the middle. Oh, it would be really nice if I actually put it back to the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Open this up. So you see I put a little divot here. This is kind of where the Gopher home is going to be. That's going to be a separate model that I'm just going to pop right in there, and hopefully that'll work well. And then come on. There we go. And then I put a little bumps in here because I thought it would be cool to have these little, like, you know, give it some depth. But as you can see, it kind of didn't work so well. They just looked like blotches. And so I was actually going to go ahead and get rid of those bumps. I think they kind of look a little bit like blotches. Maybe later on I'll do some sort of like maybe just texturing or something that simulates that. I'm not sure. We'll see. Texturing might work pretty well. And then just leave it flat without the blotches because it just didn't. It looks like I'm a terrible artist, and I'm not the best, but it looks like I'm a terrible artist. So I'm gonna go fix that. That's one of the things I wanted to fix. And we're not going to do any texture editing today because, well, Substance Painter doesn't work on my Mac. So I built this in Substance Painter, this texture material stuff in Substance Painter on my Windows side. And I'm really hoping that Huion will update their drivers for Mac before I get back to the next texture painting. But if they don't, it's fine. I don't necessarily need the textures. I just was doing this so I could kind of get a feel of the color and the vibrancy. I've added in my Unity, I bought an asset or called Amplify Color. I bought it a long time ago. And so what it does is it allows me to create different looks and different feels. We can show some right now actually if we want. I believe it's on my camera. My base camera, amplify color. Yeah. So right now I'm using the exposure one, which I really like. But if I go here to this, it looks like I got rid of all the other ones. There was a bunch of them. Here in the plugin, but I think I got rid of them all because I just didn't need them. I didn't want to carry them around with me all the time, you know, it just weighs your project down. So, sorry, I guess you won't see any other cool ones, but that's kind of what I use to help bring out a more vibrant color. They are still pretty good in Substance Painter. I'm pretty happy with it, but I'm going to make sure I use this color correction stuff to make it really pop. I'm not an expert at color correction by any means. I'm learning as I go. But, you know, that's what game development is. Learn as you go. So, without further ado, we're going to go back and I'm going to work on this blend file, and you're going to watch me make tons of mistakes because I haven't worked in Blender for 2 months. So, well, not 2 months, like a couple months, but I have no idea. I remember there was a way to flatten it. So my Blender is, so how do I do something? Okay, let's go Google it. So that's what I'm going to go do. Oh, there was something. It was, I think, hold on. Maybe I do know this. Make sure I'm in edit mode. Nope, that's the cursor. Let's rotate. There it is. And I think if I hit 0, no, that was too easy. I might need to be in vertex mode. Thought if I hit 0, that's what it would do. But obviously that is not the case. So we're going to go back to View for this one. I did know how to do it not that long ago. Blender, flatten vertices. There we go. Oh, that's right. That's right. You want to scale it. Oh, that's right. I'm going to scale. That's what it was. Oh, they should be flat, I believe. Or not. You know what I needed to do? I needed to select more. Okay, I'm starting to remember some of this stuff. I can't believe I got box select figured out. That was fun. Alright. Let's get a bunch, because I think I need a bunch of them to flatten it. So if I do scale Z 0, I believe that flattens them all. Yeah, about the same. So I'm going to Control Z that, and I'm going to keep selecting. I know there's a lasso select too. I forgot what that is. Oh, I think it's nope. There it is. There's my lasso select. Alright, scale Z 0. Enter. That's what I was looking for. So we flattened it out. Search area looks flat. I may need to rebake it actually. I'm thinking I might need to rebake it. But we'll see. If I need to rebake it, this unfortunately, yeah, may not go as smoothly as I like. And we want to export it. FBX. Yeah, we'll just overwrite this FBX. I think that's all good. I did do apply transform, and I think it worked okay. I don't know, we'll export it as is, and we can always come back and export it. And that's why I use Dropbox, people, because I can revert later. Alright. And then it switched me over to the wrong location, so then that's let's go back over to my left screen and let's re-import this. Now I wish that it is a little annoying that so I would like to just right-click it to re-import, right? Wouldn't that be great if I just click re-import and it actually worked? But the problem is the location where it's importing from is not where I want it to import from. So I'm not really sure how that works. So, yeah. Oh, and then it puts that materials folder. I've wondered about maybe I should just leave that materials folder there. But either way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up deleting this. I'm going to delete it. Materials are all still there. And I'm going to bring up a Finder window. My computer is like, please stop, you're killing me. Because I have Blender and Unity open at the same time with Chrome and OBS. It's just like, stop. I'm crying. And I got my fans on max and everything. It's, you know. I also looked into possibly getting a Windows computer for this too, for doing this game development, because it seems to be able to handle this stuff a lot better. I just don't have the money. Alright. Will this work? Here's my material again. I'm just going to delete this. Yep. I already have the material. See, that's what it was. It puts it in horizontal if I don't do apply transform. Export FBX. The experimental apply transform fixes that. That's what I want. Export FBX. Alright, try again. See, look, now it's the right direction. Yay. Delete. Yes, I would indeed. Alright, let's try it. Delete. Yes, please. Alright. Let's go back to the one. Everything looks great. As far as my understanding, it looks good. But it is what it is. So we're gonna go here, and we're gonna mesh filter. I think I need to do the inside one, don't I? No? Oh yeah, that's one. That's what I was looking for. Look at that. It's all flat now. Perfect. That's what I was looking for. It does look a little bland, but hopefully when I get some objects in there, like trees and stuff, it'll look a little better. So what I need to do is, got this all done. I'm missing a prefab. My environment prefab, right? Right here. Perfect. That's what I'd like to see. And you can see how dark it is here in this view, and then suddenly it hits this, and it's like, whoa! It's really bright and nice, and looks much better. Then again, I guess it's probably just the on-lit view. I don't know. I'm still learning Unity just like everyone else is. Even if you're an expert in Unity, you're probably still learning Unity because they change it all the time. All right, look at that. We got it in. That's wonderful. Excellent, wonderful. So how does it help us? Well, it doesn't. Our next thing is we need to make the second part. The 1-2 piece, I believe. What piece is that? That's going to be... Let's see. Well, let's get you guys on the right screen first. I know, I still feel like an amateur. That's because I am an amateur. All right. So our next piece is, yeah, definitely an amateur. All right, we're gonna do it. We are gonna do it. Opening Affinity Pro, Affinity Designer, with Blender and Unity and OBS. Hopefully I don't lose you guys. Why not? Go big or go home, we'll maximize it too. Oh, lovely, my tablet just stopped. Okay, now it's back. Okay, external detailed layout, that's what I want. Alright, we're going to move you over to my Unity window. So I'm sorry guys, you aren't going to get to look at this pretty picture. But, well, I'll show you real quick. We're going to be working on number 2 here. That's what we're going to do. Which is pretty much just a fence line. It's just going to be a flat square. That's really what it looks like right now. I mean, the other one technically is a flat square too. It's just got a divot for the gopher hole, which one could argue I may not even need that. But it is just going to be a flat square, so that's pretty easy. Obviously, it will be textured and stuff like that, but that comes later. So we're going to save this blend file, and we're going to open base. We'll do file, and we're going to click save as. Mossboro. Oh, and we can delete this one. This one was my original attempts back when I was, I guess I can't delete it from here. All right, was my original attempts. I was working at trying to figure out sizing and all sorts of stuff. And so the first time, I didn't even worry about sizing. I just built it out and said, oh, this looks cool. And then I put it in Unity and realized the size was all screwed up and wasn't where I wanted it to be. So I said, no, that didn't work. So let's see if I can move further off with this one. 1_2. And this is going to be an easy blend file to make. 1_2. So there's blend file. Perfect. 1_2. Ooh, that's a challenging piece to make. All right. Look at that. That's done. We are done with Blender. Oh, well, no, we need to export it real quick. Export. FBX. Experimental transform applied. FBX2. And 2. We're looking good so far. Save. Whew. Looks good. Here, Finder. There we go. Demergo Studios. Filters. Art. Environment. Mossboro. We got one. We can delete this one. It's old. Alright, we got our FBX. I always wonder what these blend_1 files are. I'm not quite sure. Alright, so we got that. We know it's going to go in the top portion, but it really doesn't matter for right now. You say, Todd, when are we going to the exciting stuff? Well, this is game development. It takes time. Alright. Back over to our left screen, and we can kind of see we're going to create ourselves a new folder. We'll call it 1_2. Open up, and we'll drag our FBX in. And this will be our second. I knew I was going to do that. So, this is what happens when you haven't done this in a little while. You forget to name your materials, and I'm sure the people watching this now or later will be screaming at me saying you need to name your materials. Did I just do what I think I did? I think I did. That's why we have collab. Or maybe I can undo. Oh well, that's why we have collab. Come back. Oh, folder completed. Okay, well, whatever. We'll move it to material. Wow, collab, you are doing wonderful for me, dude. All right, well, next best thing. And I'm talking. These. Well, it is what it is. That's why we have everything backed up. It'll be easier for me just to do this. Well, I wonder if now it will work. I bet it will work now. Forward. _1. Ah. Well, that's mistake number one. One of the mistakes today. That's okay. No work is lost. We're early on in this process. And then we can go up to cloud. Now it should work. Yeah, 1.1 FBX. What do we do with that map to come back? Oh, it still says file cannot be located. Silly Blender. I'm not too worried. This is why all my assets are elsewhere. Delete. And then I got my albedo right here. No big deal. And this goes right up here. That on this actually just goes here. My mesh filter. Here. I'll probably just be easier just to delete it probably. And then just take this back to there we go. It definitely looks a bit different now. Oh, yeah, it still looks a little different. Oh well. Yeah, interesting. If you look at the middle screen here, you can see it's got a bunch of weird distortions in it. Could just be a lighting issue down here. That's what I get for deleting stuff. Oh, I might be missing, you know what? That's why. Because I cheated. And instead of putting a roughness map in, I just made it the opposite. There you go, that's what I did. Solved, fixed, we're back to normal. It's still, the texture looks a little weird, but and the texture still looks a little weird. Just move. Doesn't look terrible though. It's just, it still doesn't look exactly like what I wanted. What I had before. I suppose I should show you guys what I'm looking at. Yeah, looks a little better though. Let's settle for it for now. Alrighty. C11, this is that, we'll grab and pull this down as so. Alright. This time we'll save. Added. Looks fixed. 1, 1. It's 1, 1. And then smooth, sorry. Smooth. 1, 1. Smooth out bumps and 1. Bumps 1, 1. Alright. Let's publish that now. Alright. Perfect. Scene is boss plural. Let's create a new scene. Or, nope, that's too easy. New scene. Call it 1_2. Throw it up here. Unload that one. We'll delete both of those. We'll go here. We'll bring in my 1, 2 FBX right here. Look at this. Alright, that's in. Oh yeah, but see, this is what I was doing before. I was like, oh, I forgot to put the material. I forgot to actually name the materials. And that's when I deleted my other folder because I went up too high. So let's fix that. My other material was named, I believe, 1, 1 underscore environment. That's what I thought. It's simple to do. Just go over to one more. Myself a material. Give it a fancy name like 1_2_. Hit enter, and that's all we need. And then we go back over to file. We export this out. FBX, again, we want experimental. It's already set up to do that. Export. And it's done. Save. Boom. Goodbye, Blender. And then back to bringing this FBX in. Here it comes. I'm still not sure, and see how our environment is now. Our materials. Still not sure if I'm going to keep this material folder. I'm kind of annoyed that Unity creates it in the first place. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Throw this in. Look at that. It's already sized properly. Everything looks great. Environment 2, that's material 2 then. We'll pull it down here to create a prefab of it. I'm half tempted to just call it prefab, but I'm just going to put it as a technically that prefab. I wonder if there's a way to see line movements. I bet there is. But I guess I could tag things. That's kind of cool. I haven't done a ton in the Unity inspectors. I'm sure I could create it so that it showed the file. And then Unity is great. You can do just about anything to it and in it. So that's one of the nice things about Unity. All right, so now we got two scenes. They both have these environment tiles. The question is, do they have any collision? And probably not. But that's okay. We'll start working on that now. So we're going to do another save because we already saw what happened. Added new 1, 2, tile. I do not have it doing auto deploys cloud builds yet, but someday I will. Someday. Load scene. All right. So collision geometry for this. So I went here and I added a physics object. I added it as a mesh collider. No. Terrain. I really have no idea what that is. Let's find out. Physics material, terrain data. That's what I usually see, terrain data. Alright, cool. For us, it's going to be pretty simple. It's just going to be a simple box collider. You could do mesh collider. Probably what I'll end up doing sometime is inside of my tiles, I'll duplicate the mesh. I'm sure there's a way, because usually with a 3D modeler, we'll export both the mesh itself and then a low poly version at the same time for the ground collider. But for this, I think probably just a box collider will work just fine. If I probably do a material collider, it'll probably make things worse. Let's go to the editor. Let's work on this. I mean, it's already. It probably already did a pretty good job. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that. It already did a pretty good job. I mean, good job, Unity. Thank you. Good job, Unity. All right, physics material. Yeah, we don't need any. It already kind of figured out the size and everything like that. So great. We'll just kind of save that. So Y is down just a little bit. Size is 8, pretty much 8 by 1 by 16. So it's 8. Well, it's 8 by 16. That's what it is. That's the screen width, 8 by 16, right? Isn't that the? There's 16 by 9, 16 by 8 sounds. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good there. So I got my box collider on it. That should hopefully act as ground. It's kind of the goal. We'll go to scene 2 then. Scene 2. We'll go to this thing. And so I realized that what I did was kind of. So I've got this, but it doesn't have the component on. I should have done is I guess I can just click apply, right? I click apply, and it updates this to have it on as well. Perfect. All right, let's go to this one. Let's add a box collider as well, and then auto size it to. It looks like about the same size. That's good. That's good, and then we'll apply it to its prefab as well and save these scenes. Good news, good stuff. Good stuff, all right. So, let's see. Good stuff, all right. So, what is next? Well, next is making player. Player is next. So I'm probably not going to get to it this stream. It's getting pretty late. It's already been on. I've already been doing this for 45 minutes. I don't want to do too long, or these videos get too long for people to watch. But next time we're going to work on the character a little bit. I'm going to think about it. Our player character is obviously just going to be a little capsule guy. I've got, when I signed up for Unity, I waited to get like the best deal, so I signed up for Unity Unity Plus, and I got the Essentials pack and the Amplify shader editor and all those extra special things too. So I chose the mobile one, which gives me cool touch. Came with a cool touch library. So I'm going to start looking into that probably for next time as well, because I want our character to be to navigate via touch. So that's kind of it for now. Thanks for watching. It's been kind of an interesting stream going through Blender and just kind of working through this art pipeline that I'm trying to develop for the game. It's probably not the best now, but as I continue to work on it and develop it, it will become better and better, and eventually I'll figure these things out. We're going to send up this to Cloud Build for now. Just added physics bound. There we go. Send that up, make sure it's saved. So when I do stupid things like delete my environment tiles, like I did a few minutes ago, I can revert them easily. That's all for now. Thanks, guys, and we will see you on the next Demergo Studios live stream.